Hey guys, I'm here with Congressman John Boozman and we'll be discussing a few national issues. Hey Congressman. I'm good, how are you?
Bo's kind of popped up. What's going on with you?
Nothing really. I just want to have a few questions for you. Okay,
sure.
Okay. Number one, what do you think of the current political climate and the Tea Party?
Well, I think the Tea Party has done a very good job in Arkansas and throughout the country in really highlighting a lot of issues that are important to Americans. And those issues have to do with the economy, jobs, creating real jobs, not the stimulus kind of jobs.
Yes.
Where the money goes away and the job goes away. But empowering small business. The other thing is they're very much opposed to the health care bill and very much opposed to the spending that's going on in Washington. So spending, health care, the economy, that's the thing that's been driving the Tea Party.
Yeah.
And so I think they've done a good job in getting the issues out there and have really got people in a situation where they're paying attention and have gotten a lot more, I think, people and voters to the polls.
And what do you think of figures such as Sarah Palin?
Again, she's done a good job of energizing the party and energizing conservatives and people throughout the country. And the main thing is because of all of this activity, we've got a lot of discussion going on. People are paying attention. And most people agree with the issues that are so important to them. They don't like the spending. They don't like this health care bill. And they don't like the solutions that have been given as far as the economy with things like the stimulus, the tax spending, borrowing your way to prosperity.
What would you consider the most important issue right now?
I think the most important issue short term is the economy. It's jobs, jobs, jobs. The average Arkansan is very concerned about maintaining their job prospects in the future. Again, they want real jobs created, by empowering small business, empowering business in general, cutting their taxes, getting rid of the regulation. The answer to our problems are not the federal government solving all of our problems, but the people of America. Long term, the deficit. Right now, we're running well over $1 trillion deficit. We did last year. We will this year. For the first time in history, because the party in power doesn't want to talk about it, we don't have a budget. So the first time since the early 70s we got to the modern budgeting system that we use, we don't even have a budget right now. So the deficit is a huge problem. We've got to get the spending under control. And we don't have the tax problem. We do have the spending problem. And it's very important to your generation.
Yes.
This is something that you're going to be stuck with. And so again, we've got to get the spending under control, and that's so important long term. If we don't, you're going to see a tremendous amount of inflation. You'll see much higher interest rates, and so those are not good things for them.
And how do you think the economy would respond to legislation such as the fair tax?
Well, I think the important thing in looking at taxes is that we need something that's fair and something that's simple. That's what people want. The current system that we have is neither one of those. And right now the IRS code is 67,000 pages. If you can imagine, there's more IRS enforcement agents than there are CIA agents and FBI agents combined. The new health care bill will add 16,500 additional agents. And so I would very much like to get to a system, that is fair and simple. And so the fair tax is one of those to look at. What you're doing is substituting the income tax, and you're actually getting rid of the amendment that allows it, and substituting that instead of being taxed on income, you're taxed on what you buy. And there would be no payroll taxes, no Medicare, Social Security, no corporate taxes, no federal taxes of any kind. And the people people that have looked at that feel like, as a result, all of us would pay less tax. To take care of the people in poverty, you would get a prepaid check. You get a check that everyone would get a check to cover the cost of basic necessities.
Okay.
So it's really an interesting concept to look at. Now, along with that, I think we need to look at the flat tax. That's where you just take a certain percentage.
Yes.
And then also just another route to go would be looking at dramatically revamping our current tax code.
Mm-hmm.
But we do need to make it such that that the situation is fair and simple.
Mm-hmm.
And right now we have neither.
What do you think the results of the November elections will be?
You mean as far as what's going to happen? Or?
Yeah, who's going to, what do you think is going to be the overall result?
I think that right now there's an excellent chance that a lot more conservatives will be elected to Congress. There's a good chance that the Republicans will take over the House of Representatives. And I think that we desperately right now need to divided government. We need a check, a balance put on the administration. The stuff that's coming out of Washington is being rejected all over America. The idea that you can tax and spend and borrow your way to prosperity. It started in Virginia with the governor's race there in
Yes.
New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Saw it with even in Massachusetts with Scott Brown, placing Senator Kennedy. And we're just seeing the same thing happening now all over the country. So I think there's a good chance that we take over the House, and then with that can put a check and balance with the things that are coming out of the administration and get back to free market solutions rather than the solutions that are coming out of the administration now of just dramatically increasing spending, dramatically increasing government.
Is there a certain issue that you think sometimes falls under the radar and is sort of just ignored? And if so, what is it?
Let me ask me your next one, and I'll be thinking about that. We'll come back, okay?
Okay. How would you fix immigration?
Well, I very much believe we need to secure the border. We need to do that not only because of illegal immigration, but there's a drug war going on in Mexico, and the Mexican government is not doing very well, in that war. And so we don't want that spilling over to the American side. Mm-hmm. Also, we're a nation at war, and in being at war, we need to understand who's coming here. We saw the threat of the almost Times Square bombing that was discovered. We saw it with the plane on Christmas Day that was almost blown up. Mm-hmm. So there's serious threats going on. And because of that, we need to control the border. We need to hold employers accountable. Mm-hmm. Employers that are willingly hiring people that are illegal. Again, we need to punish them. They need to be held accountable. No amnesty. I feel very strongly that amnesty is something that we should not do. Mm-hmm. And then I also believe that English is the official language. That's the tie that binds us together is very important.
How do you think we should fix health care?
Well, I think that we need to get rid of the current bill that was passed, and I would like to repeal it and defund it. The reason being is it dramatically cuts Medicare and then increases the number of patients into the Medicare system. Well, you can't cut funding and increase patients without something happening, and that's going to be a lower quality of care for our seniors. They figured that out. They're very upset.